Hello, can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
My camera won't come on, so you've got that little R symbol for now.
Better than nothing.
But yeah. Raya,
The school is okay.
Good.
How's school for you?
Hot.
Yes, bloody hot. We're in the middle of a heat wave and I just want to sleep right now.
Wow, heat waves are the worst. I mean, we've just got AC pumping in Dubai right now because it's like 40 degrees every day. Oh,
can you hear me?
yes.
Guys, I swear I have good Wi-Fi. Like literally the entire day I have good Wi-Fi. And then I log onto here and the universe decides to look down on me and punish me for every bad thing that I've done throughout my entire life. So here we are. Okay. So we have Isa, we have Heidi, we have not Emily. So is Emily going to be able to make it or?
No, she can't make it.
I'm doing
Nyla is late, but she does our introduction, so.
Okay. Do you want to stall for Nyla just in the interest of making things fairer?
She said she was only going to be 5 minutes late.
That is fine. That is good. That's fine by me. How are your summers? Tell me everything.
The summers were cold. As soon as we came back to school, we're going through a heat wave, so not great.
England's weather is so strange. I really don't. Yeah. Raya, how was your summer? How's Dubai summer treating you? Woo!
All day indoors until I went on holiday, which was nice, when I could actually go outside without getting scalded to my bones.
Exactly. Yeah. How's school?
stressful. All we had this year is GCSEs are coming up. You have to be ready. That's all I had. I don't know about Heidi.
It's pretty much the same thing.
All I've had this week is you're picking your GCSEs. Pick my GCSE. Pick my GCSE.
That's hilarious. I've heard the same kind of thing, but for A levels, and everyone's like, get your coursework done. And I'm like, I haven't planned anything. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
You guys are gonna do great.
Thank you, Raya. And we appreciate that. I know Isa and Heidi are going to be fine. I have no worries about Isa and Heidi. I
have worries for me. I do.
My school is so cutthroat. If a teacher doesn't get enough students to sign up for their GCSE is cut. So like if only 3 kids sign up for French, then they can't take French.
To be fair, that happened with me. I was the only person who signed up for politics, and then they were like, you can't do politics. And I was like, okay, cool.
I wish we had politics.
So it's literally like all the teachers are just like, pick my GCSE! I need the money!
I love that. Okay, so which ones are you settled on, Raya? Tell us so we can either warn you against them or encourage you.
History, French, and art and design.
Ooh.
What are our thoughts, ladies? You guys are have done your GCSEs or are doing your GCSEs more recently than I am. So yours is the judgment to be trusted.
I'm in British school, so we'll do the same curriculum. I'm not in a weird Arab school.
It could be worse. Thing is, I hate French, but I have a rubbish French class and a rubbish French teacher. I hate French all round, so I guess it depends.
So it's going great, but Heidi over here.
My French teacher, she's okay. We got a new one this year, and she's a bit weird.
When a French teacher's not weird.
Exactly.
I mean, no, she has this weird like tiger teddy which she'll throw at us and then make us answer a question. Then we have to throw it at someone else. But all the boys in my French class are like basketball stars, so they just pick the person furthest away from them and lob it as hard as they can.
Oh my god, I'd scream and I'd cry and I'd run away.
Me too.
If you just dodge it, do you not have to answer the question?
You have to catch it. If you don't catch it, everyone laughs at you. I threw it at this new kid, but he kind of like, I can't show you because my camera's off. He like put his hands up over his face and like went, ah! And I felt so bad for him because he didn't know much French, but I didn't know that. And so.
Oh my god. I took French in year 9 and I failed and I dropped out. So that's And I wish I'd stuck with it because it's like if you want to go into law and politics, it's good to have. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say two things.
Not worth it.
Don't do two languages.
No, that's not.
GCSE, because I might be doing that, and I have till November to decide, and I don't think I'm doing it.
What are you deciding between? What two languages?
I might do Polish, and I'm doing Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm barely holding on to English. Sorry.
In my school, they only offer Spanish, French, and Arabic, and like hell am I doing Arabic for
I
GCSE.
want to do other languages other than Spanish.
But Arabic is so hard. You have to learn a whole new alphabet.
Yeah, I realised that from my friend.
It seems funky.
It's
a lot more interesting than French.
My Arabic teachers are weirdos. All my teachers are weirdos.
Most of our teachers.
I just saw your message. I'm so sorry. But I saw you rebook it, and you did it right though. I think you went onto Calendly and you changed it, so you were fine. You figured it out. Proud of you, Heidi.
I thought because I have choir practice. That sounds very formal, but I thought it was this Sunday. I thought it was next Sunday, but it's this Sunday. So I booked it for Monday, the day after. So
I saw you do that. Yeah, I got the calendar things, so you're good. But I just saw that just then. And so, sorry for responding.
It's
24 hours after you said
now
this.
Never.
Nyla, come on. If
Should I
she's gonna
send her-
leave me, yes, please.
I feel like
Miss, how come you put 4 people in their team and 2 people in our team? 3 people in their team and 2 people in our team.
because you're better.
Shut up.
No, hey, no, because Nyla chose this motion. So Nyla, that sounds.
What did I do?
I said because you're better.
No, Nyla in this instance counts as 2 people because if you chose the motion, then you meant to have an easier time doing it. You know what I mean? Nyla was mentally prepared to do this motion.
She didn't give me any help. She just said, right argument.
Hi, Nyla. They were just asking why the teams were uneven, and I said it's because since you chose the motion, you count as 2 people because you're mentally in the zone to argue this motion and to bring it home.
We're not.
No, you guys are as well, but
we just want to
I
sleep.
don't know anything about rice. I just need to hope for the best.
You guys crack me up. I'm actually I don't know anything about rice either. It's yummy and it's tasty. But Nyla, when you submitted that for your application, I was like, actually, if I could cuss on here, I would. Can I cuss? I don't know.
You
I was like, who is this chick? I don't know anything about rice farmers. I've never thought about rice farming. I just kind of eat the rice.
Yeah, it takes 2 Desies to win this debate, and we've got this in the bag.
You do. We're ready.
We were hoping for Emily to do the POIs because we don't know.
I've read one article.
I read a newspaper.
I watched a YouTube video.
Guys, you underestimate how much of POIs and how much of debate generally is just BSing. If you don't know something, just whip something up. It's okay.
I had written about my grandfather for 5 minutes until I realised this is way over time.
Yeah, this is good though. This is what I wanted, is for you guys to look into it. More now. You can, I don't know, spread awareness.
Well, she's only read one article and she's only read one newspaper, so you did your job, didn't you?
Well, it's better than nothing,
Better than nothing.
No, this is.
You've read it otherwise, probably not, but now you have, which is good.
I love this so much. Okay. So are we ready to start?
No.
Is Emily here?
Emily's not
not
going to be joining us.
Is she on the team, or is she just not coming?
No, she's
can't make it for family reasons.
Sorry?
She can't make it for family reasons.
Well, that's weird. Oh, okay. Is one of you guys going to do her argument? Or? Great.
Go Isla. Woo!
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Can I have my opening speaker from the proposition?
That's
Heidi,
me, isn't
you can
it?
do this.
Okay, Heidi, I'm so excited for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for everybody, but Heidi, currently I'm rooting for you. We'll start whenever you're ready.
This House fundamentally believes that the safety and equality of farmers that are responsible for 89% of rice production for 4 billion people should be a priority. By opposing this motion, you are saying that the rights offered to millions of workers across the world should not be offered to humble workers across Asia. Many countries across Asia are LICs, with workers suffering from low income, inequality, and discrimination. And this is something that can be solved by governments. If some farmers receive as little as 4% of the price paid by consumers, where is the other 96% going? To the governments. The governments need to commit to the visions of the people that are the building blocks of the future, which will be a point further developed in our debate.
All right, thank you so much, Heidi. Who is our opening speaker from the opposition?
That's me.
Okay. Nyla, you can begin whenever you're ready.
Okay. Rice is the beating heart of homes across Asia and Asian homes across the world. The average resident of Asia eats just shy of 300 pounds of rice yearly. Globally, we consume around 519 million tons of rice per annum. In South Asia, the 38% who live in poverty depend on the affordable grain to provide them with up to 70% of their calories. Roughly 90% of the world's rice is grown in Asia, and most of it is also consumed there. This is because it needs a hot, humid climate to grow. Since it's a semi-aquatic plant, rice is the single most labour-intensive crop to sow. It requires consistent effort and gallons of water to flourish into an edible plant fit for a dinner table. Herein the problem lies. The journey from paddy field to table is crowded. As modernisation to the production and distribution of rice is introduced, supermarkets gain a greater foothold in the regions where rice is produced. Retailers take the majority of the total profit of rice sold, ironically leaving those who are the most crucial in its production suspended in dire poverty and severe food insecurity. This House does not believe that further modernisation to the rice farming industry is a solution to the unsafe and unequal conditions suffered by rice farmers, seeing as it is concurrently the cause.
Thank you, Nyla. Can we have our first speaker from the proposition?
That's me again.
Yay, Heidi. Okay. Whenever you are ready, begin.
Half of the world's population depends and relies on the curation, growth, and farming of rice. It provides 20% of the world's calories, and it is a beloved staple in kitchens across the world. However, the rice industry faces many threats, not to the rice itself, but to the key pillars solely maintaining the production of rice, the farmers. These are the sole people that provide food security across the world, while also providing financial aid across Asia. Unfortunately, worsening inequality across food chains, along with the deteriorating effects of climate change, are threatening the viability of the production of rice, which dictates the life of many different civilizations, dictates the lives of millions. As we have established, the hard work of the farmers that underpins the lives of many should be deserving of access to the top equipment and wages, correct? Unfortunately, research carried out by Oxfam shows that rice farmers receive as little as 4% of the price paid by consumers. In Nepal, farmers' income from rice farming is estimated at just 13% of the amount needed for basic income. This is worse for women working in Asia. They receive lower wages and suffer discrimination. There are opportunities for change. By investing in modern technologies and infrastructure, governments can improve productivity, reduce labour-intensive tasks, and enhance safety measures. This would not only protect the well-being of farmers, but also promote fair and equitable opportunities in the industry. Governments need to provide the newest techniques to upkeep with the rapidly modernising rice markets. Governments need to commit to the vision for a more equitable, sustainable, and climate-resilient rice industry. Governments need to prioritise the safety and livelihoods of humble farmers that are responsible for the food security of approximately 4 billion people. So this is not just for the farmers' sakes, this is also for us.
Thank you so much, Heidi. Can I have the first speaker from the opposition?
That's me, Raya.
All right, perfect. Rhea, whenever you're ready.
A Across Asia, a continental issue is infecting all aspects of life: the unfair harvest in the rice industry. Asian countries make up the top 8 rice exporters, providing nearly 90% of our world's rice, and most of these farmers are independent natives. However, none of them are as rich as they should be. Traders and exporters are exploiting and stealing from these natives, causing an economic, classist, and problematic dip across the whole of Asia. The proposition are telling Asian governments that they must modernize to fix this, and thus are not understanding the significance of rice farming and how modernization could destroy it forever. Rice is deeply tied to the Asian identity. Japanese people have Inari, the god of rice. Indonesians celebrate the religious rice harvest festival. Chinese newlyweds are showered in rice. From family recipes to proverbs to social structure, in a world where Asian cultures are assimilated into one and rarely recognized, rice is one of the only things we have left. The rice industry is being exploited by businessmen, traders, and corporations with no insight into this, who took 40% of the profits which enable rice farmers to uphold this tradition in the Philippines, who have reduced Nepali farmers' wages to 13% of what is required for a basic income, and who on average pay rice farmers less than 4% of consumer price. People who belong to upper classes who don't rice farm, but who produce and influence the technologies, products, and methods that would be used to modernize the industry, who design the taxes, prices, uses, and structures of these methods, and who have already proven they exploit everything they can. Rural people won't modernize, they'll use the culture that has lasted them centuries, leaving modernization to the people who have been rinsing and destroying that culture. Modernization involves not a revolution or a celebration, but an invade by people who will use it to manipulate and profit off farmers more. You can say they have our best interests at heart, but after centuries of Asian culture being appropriated, exotified, and destroyed, nobody has the right to dictate how tightly the rural people cling to their techniques. And nobody has the right to force us to rely on the upper classes when modernization is simply another opportunity for abuse.
All right, thank you so much, Rhea. Can I have the second speaker from the proposition, please?
It is me now.
Perfect. Whenever you're ready, Isa.
Today, we are discussing the food industry, which, as we all know, is worth billions of dollars, and yet poverty is widespread among the small-scale farmers and workers who produce and process the things we eat. And as my partner Heidi has already pointed out, rice farming in Asia is no exception. Small-scale producers grow out most of the rice in Asia, but for generations have been trapped in unequal relations with traders, milers, and other actors along the value chain, lacking the power to negotiate for a fair share of the value of what they have grown. Increasing input costs, unsustainable product methods, and climate change are all added to their risk and vulnerability. However, the rice sector in Asia is changing fast, with mechanization.
Sorry, Nyla has a POI.
Can I decline it?
Yes, you can decline it. There's nothing against that. Go ahead.
Just carry on.
Oh, right. Can I finish it?
Yeah, you can. You're at the top there.
However, the rice sector in Asia is changing fast, with mechanical changing product methods, consignment of milers and traders changing distribute, and the rising of supermarket changing retails. This modernization could be a major opportunity for rice farming to engage in new markets, build sustainable and climate resilient product system, and reversible historical injustice and market exploitation. Unfortunately, evidence indicate that so far small-scale products and workers are being further squeezed by these changes. The situation could also get worse as supermarkets gain more of a foothold in regions and consolidation along the value chain and enables traders and...
There's a POI from Maria. Would you like to accept or decline?
It's up to you.
I will decline it again.
No worries. Continue.
Guys, okay. We as the consumers of the products have to take an interest in this topic. It isn't right that we allowed these things to happen without a care. Some people might say that this doesn't.
Your time is up. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I just don't get half of these words.
She didn't read through it before she said it.
I didn't.
That's all right. That's all right. It's our first debate back, so it's gonna be like a little bit of a starting back up kind of a thing. So this debate's casual. It's chill. Don't worry. Okay. Can I have my second speaker from the opposition, please, ladies?
That's me.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, Nyla.
Okay. Government regulation is the bureaucratic red tape that suffocates small-scale workers in the agricultural sector of Asia. Not only do mechanisation plans not take into account the elderly, who are consistently left behind in the countryside whilst their younger counterparts relocate to urban areas to find agricultural work, they also fail to recognise the discrimination that women within the sector face, who are in every case significantly underpaid, especially, oh, I'm so sorry, my laptop's just turned off, especially compared to their male peers. To reinforce the words of my peer, small-scale rice farmers receive as little as 4% of the price paid by consumers thanks to the deferral of regulatory powers over trade to the private sector by Asian governments. As mentioned by the proposition, this problem is particularly prevalent in Nepal, where the income to living wage gap is the largest, the average farmer earning just 13% of that needed to live on. Dissimilarly to the assertion of the proposition, the answer to this is not more regulation, but less. After being the driving force behind rice for centuries, rice farmers deserve to have the final say over trade and distribution, not the government.
All right. Thank you, Nyla. Can I have... Oh, wait, no. Judge questions. See, even I'm a little bit out of it. Oh, my God. Judge questions. Can I have a minute to think about these, guys?
Of course.
Nyla, I hate you a teeny bit for creating this motion. I hate you, like it's too smart for my brain to comprehend, even though I take geography and this is very much like in the realm. But okay. Hold on, let me go over my notes here.
I'll make mine proper stupid for you guys. We'll be debating Taylor Swift or something.
Rhea, God bless you. Like you get what we need, you get what we want. No, I'm kidding. This was a really good motion. This was a really good motion. Okay. My question for the proposition. You mentioned it's not going to be bad. I just thought of it. So it's actually, I don't know. Okay. My question for the proposition. You guys mentioned climate change and the ramifications of that. And I think that's very interesting. Seeing as the opposition, and please correct me if I missed anything, have not yet addressed climate change. But the proposition have. So how do you anticipate that mechanization or putting in place methods of mechanization would mitigate climate change?
Can we have a moment to talk for a sec?
Please.
Absolutely. I need a moment to think of my other question.
Thank you.
You guys okay? Do you want like one more? It needs to be fair on both ends. So if I give you guys this time, I'll give them a similar amount of time. Yeah? Okay.
Could you toss us in a break room when that happens? Because my typing's really slow.
Sorry?
Could you toss us in a break room when that happens? Because my writing's really slow.
Right. Yes, of course I can. Sorry, it didn't process to me that you guys are actually not in the same place. I will absolutely. Yes.
That's
Okay.
great.
I think we're ready. I think it's all in my brain.
Okay. Okay. In that case, guys, please go ahead and feel free to answer.
So in the case of like we I don't know how to word it. It's about like creating like a more climate resilient mechanization like techniques to make it easier on the farmers. So there was a video I watched. So I didn't actually just read one article. There was a couple of videos I watched, and it was on a specific type of drip irrigation. It has like crazy statistics, but it's also crazily expensive to enforce and have like put in. It was like $100,000 or pounds. I don't know the currency, but it has like crazy. It's like 70% less water usage and things like that. And I think that would increase profits, but it's also something that can't be enforced by the farmers themselves. That's something that has to be enforced by the government, because the farmers aren't going to get that money from anywhere because that they don't have enough profits from their own rice farming.
However, can I butt in here?
Okay, Rhea, can I? You guys don't have to answer to this, but I want to hear what Rhea has to say. Rhea, go ahead.
However, this is all great with drip irrigation systems and that kind of thing. But rice farmers have been using the same traditions for centuries. Rice farming originated, I think, 10,000 years ago. So they have literally been doing this for millennia. And as we both said before, Asian cultures are often not recognized, especially in the Western world. If I give a personal example, no one can ever get my nationality right. I've been called Mongolian, Chinese, Japanese, Nepali, Indian. I'm from Kashmir in Pakistan. Okay?
Sorry.
And in a world where these cultures are not often recognized, for example, I know that Heidi and Izzat are from England. I'm not going to say you're from France. Okay, that is just a normal point of view for
Putting
Western.
it out there, it is Polish.
It is Polish. Okay, I know Heidi's from England, but in Asian cultures, it's so much harder to tell that. Like nobody's got my nationality right, other than Asian people. So how would you suggest we fix sustainability if we are taking away more and more techniques that have been used for literally millennia? Because no one's recognizing these techniques. No one's recognizing how intrinsic rice farming is to our culture. If we use drip irrigation systems and all these mechanizations made by the Western world, how are we preserving this culture that has been whitewashed and ignored for literally thousands of years?
You guys can answer that. You can answer, like you can choose whether or not to answer. I think Rhea makes a really valid point. Sorry, go ahead.
How well it will be, right? So I think the point I would refute that is there isn't a choice for the farmers in Asia. They don't have that money, and they don't have the choice whether they want to keep on regulating their traditional techniques or whether they want to enforce a more modern technique, which is less work and it might result in more profit. They don't have that choice, which should be enforced by the government, and that's the government's responsibility.
But they don't have that choice because they're not making enough profits, something which is governed by, as we said, the upper classes, who aren't authentic Asian people. I mean, lots of the upper classes are from Asia, but let me give the example of our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, our first Asian British Prime Minister, who does not represent the Asian British community at all because he's a very conservative, rich man. So we understand what you're saying with the climate change whole thing, but why don't farmers have that choice? Farmers don't have that choice because of the Western world. So now it's the Western world's techniques coming and telling us that, well, sorry, we whitewash your culture so much you don't have a choice anymore. We're going to force you to use irrigation systems because we've caused climate change. because the majority of climate change comes from Western cultures. How many factories do you see in Nepal, Bangladesh, maybe China and Japan, who have become a lot more bigger countries lately, but lots of the Asian countries, they haven't had anything to do with this. They are very sustainable, very green countries, and that's because they've been using these methods since the dawn of time. So is the Western world just going to pollute our atmosphere and then come into Asia and say, sorry, we ruined your entire country and culture, now here, use our country and culture?
Isa, Heidi, would you guys like to respond?
Okay.
I don't know if this is much of a response to what you said, but I think we're just questioning like the morality of what you're doing. You're leaving them there to suffer. Yeah, it may have been our actions that are making them suffer, but like these are people we're talking about. If I read like the last bit of Emily's argument, because she words it really well, people are suffering, and if you can willingly turn away from that, I would like to know how you would feel if it was you or your family working day in, day out to wind up worse off than you started. That may be a result of our actions, but we didn't. The motion doesn't just state Asian governments. It could be governments all across the world that are, because the rice that is being produced from Asia isn't just for Asians, it's for people across the world. We all could pay for that. I don't know what I'm saying.
Can I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
So I was just going to say that we've seen it throughout history. History obviously repeats itself, unfortunately. We saw it with British imperialism in the 1800s or 1700s. That I'm not saying that white people are the root of the problems with the agricultural sector in Asia, particularly with rice. But I'm saying that we saw it with British colonialism, that foreigners come into countries that are not underdeveloped at the time. They implement their own infrastructures into the country that don't necessarily fit with the country that they've implemented them into, because they don't obviously understand the infrastructure of that country, not having come from there, and then they leave. They leave the people in that country with this infrastructure that they don't understand, because they've not been involved in the making or implementing of it, and they leave them to struggle. And that's really what you're proposing with rice farmers and the modernization or the mechanization of the rice farming industry. The key solution here is giving rice farmers the power to decide how they trade, how they modernize their own farms. It's not for the Asian government, and especially not for foreign governments, to tell them how they should modernize.
Ooh, Isa and Heidi have a response. Go on, guys.
Who is actually going to give the farmers that power? Because you say that the power relies in like the rich people within Asia, but in the end, all power is like in the government. So we need like it sounds like someone to give the power to those farmers, and who would that be?
Well, essentially, we're not saying that power necessarily has to be given. We're saying that it needs to be taken away, in terms of regulation needs to be taken away. There needs to be less regulation from governments. And really, when we say it's regulation from governments, it's not. It's regulation from private companies that the government have deferred to them, that have absolutely no idea how farm life works or how the agricultural sector works. That's what we're saying the solution is, not to give power, but to take away control from the government and from the private sector.
Also, as we previously stated, where is that modernization coming from? That's coming from the very government you're talking about. This government does not care about the rice farming industry, and this government is corrupt. Rooting out corruption is not a modernization issue. There should be no corruption in the first place. Modernization from these upper classes is what's going to end this industry. However, not using modernization and going back to how it was before, when rice farmers had the power to who they want to trade to, when we didn't have this Western hierarchical society, when rice farmers were respected, that is what we should go back to, not what we should move forward into, which is where these cultures who are clinging on to the last traditions they have are just made into Western farms. that gives the rice farmers even less rights.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I love this clash of points, but can I just butt in for a second? I want to. This is a question to both teams, so whoever wants to answer can. How do you go about? I think we should have been a little bit more clear on how we go about defining modernization. Do we just mean modernizing the ways in which the rice is farmed, or modernizing the entire supply? Like, explain to me what you guys envision when we say, okay, this process is going to be modernized, or this industry is going to be modernized. Tell me very particularly, just so I'm getting everything here super, super clear.
Can I speak for the opposition here?
Go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Great. So essentially, modernisation and mechanisation go hand in hand. But what I specifically mentioned in argument 2 was that as time goes on, from it's been happening since around 2012, 2011. The government has essentially been deferring power over the agricultural sector in Asia to private sectors. Specifically, there's one company called American Rice, which sounds quite funny because they don't grow a whole lot of rice in America. But essentially, regulatory powers are handed over to the private sector, who then introduce new supermarket chains or retailers into areas near farms. And then essentially, like I said, the journey from farm to table is crowded. More and more sort of middlemen are getting involved in the trade and distribution of rice, taking away profits and decisions from the farmers who are the ones that put in all the real work in the first place. So when we talk about modernisation, we mean modernisation in terms of trade and in terms of distribution.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you for that, Nyla. Heidi, is there anything to say on your part, or?
No.
I think for us, or at least in my case, I kind of like branch modernization of like giving the farmers what they need to upkeep with the fastly modernizing rice market. So it's not about like specific things. When I'm not 100% sure I actually know what I'm talking about, but like what they're actually giving the rice farmers. But I think it's just like what they need really, because like they're not given what they need in the first place.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, you guys, for clarifying. One thing I kind of want to say, and this will turn into a judge question for the opposition, I'm sure, soon, but I just kind of wanted to, okay. My issue, no, it's not an issue that I have. My one thing that I kind of picked up from the opposition, obviously you guys have researched this really well. I appreciate that you've looked at different perspectives, cultural perspectives, economic perspectives, international perspectives. My one thing is it seems your argument seems black and white in the sense that it assumes that it's either rice farming has to be completely traditional, or it's a complete erosion of cultural tradition. It assumes that all retailers and TNCs are evil, or they should just not be involved. You know what I mean? And I understand that to some extent that inclusion of those extremities brings a certain emotional punch to your argument, which I'm sure everybody in this call felt, because your argument, the way it was delivered, was sharp. But I just wonder, in terms of, I mean, if anyone who takes GCSE or A-level geography has heard the term appropriate technology. Appropriate technology essentially means technology delivered from big companies often, but tailored to the needs of local communities. I also wonder about how you guys have kind of factored in considerations of organizations like fair trade, which exist and they happen, and I understand that it's a cynical, awful world out there, but still there are such opportunities available. And I think in terms of westernization, you guys made an excellent point. But what concerns me a little bit is that the thing is, they have no, in my view, or in my opinion, they have no choice to modernize, because otherwise they won't be part of this global supply chain. We're not arguing that. I think it would be difficult for individual governments to go about deconstructing this like you rightfully said, this westernized supply chain, this westernized trade market. It would be hard for governments to individually go about doing that. So really, the way I'm seeing it is they can either modernize, or they can just not be included at all. So how do you tell me what you guys think about that? Opposition, I want to hear just kind of your thoughts on that.
Can I go first quickly? So we're not saying, the opposition is not saying that It's either extremely traditional ancient rice farming or it's a horrible erosion of our culture. We are saying that, of course, we have a Western supply chain, and of course, there's no way we can circumvent that. Of course, we need traders for distribution, packaging, shipping, all of that kind of things. If we made the rice farmers do that, that would be going against our very point by making the rice farmers learn Western techniques. We are saying that traders and exporters are forcing rice farmers to use Western techniques to make more rice to combat sustainability. We are saying, in terms of trading, distribution, shipping, of course, that should be left to professional traders who often come from Western countries who design this system. We're not saying we need to break that down. We are saying that the primary art form of farming rice, cultivating rice, has to be left to the people. And that's not a white people are evil thing. That is a cultural appropriation issue. And we have to let them develop their own techniques to combat sustainability and let them hold on to their techniques that they've had for centuries. Of course, trading, distribution, all of that business stuff has to get done. However, if we let that infiltrate into the very tradition that is being taken away, then it's gone too far. And we think modernization at this point cannot take place without it infiltrating into those traditions and forming a problem comprised entirely of racism and prejudice, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and we like Raya said, we don't think that trade and distribution should solely fall to rice farmers. Obviously, they're already really busy, but we think that they should be given the autonomy to decide who their rice is sold to and for how much, and they should be given a fair share and a livable wage from that.
Okay. I think we're going to move on to closing arguments. I appreciate both teams kind of providing me with more insight, answering my questions. You guys have been great thus far. Can I have my closing speaker from the proposition?
It is evidence from data provided by FAO that rice farming is the source of income and employment for millions of farmers in Asia. Furthermore, rice is a staple food for many Asian countries, making it a crucial sector of the economy. Therefore, this House agrees that governments throughout Asia should commit to modernising the rice farming industry to ensure safer, more equality working conditions for these rice farmers. This would not also ensure the welfare of farmers, but could also lead to increased productivity and economic growth in the region.
All right, thank you so much, Iza. Can I have the closing speaker from the opposition, pretty please?
That's me.
Okay, Rhea, whenever you're ready.
The opposition has honestly presented from fact and real-life experience that modernization is the absolute worst way to combat the unfair harvest. The unfair harvest is rooted in greed, prejudice, blindness, and racism, all of which can't be solved by laws or machines, all of which will be made more harmful by these measures. Not only does the modernization of farming techniques whitewash a culture that has been ostracized since it was discovered, it puts money into the hands of the very traders exploiting rice farmers and gives them another chance for exploitation. Government regulations also restrict small-scale workers, preventing ancient families from continuing one of the last traditions we have left. And to top it off, the women and elderly people left in rural areas when their male counterparts move away are not supported, included, or helped by the mechanization modernization will cause. Overall, modernization is not the way to solve the unfair harvest. Greed, prejudice, blindness, and racism are things of today that only protest, kindness, and education can truly heal. As an Asian person, I'd like to plead the proposition to think about what it would be like to have their culture taken away by a wave of Western technology that would steal, devour, and destroy it. Rice farming isn't just a source of food, it's a piece of culture, an intrinsic source of income, and a way for us to honor the past we're losing by the second. We cannot risk modernization because we cannot risk losing ourselves forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rhea. Okay, I think I have a decision. And I'm gonna kind of do feedback before I do decisions because I think the feedback is more important than who's won/lost, especially because this is our first debate back. It's not about we need to win. It's about, like Nyla said, kind of learning about the topic, spreading awareness. So honestly, if It sounds so dumb and like Hallmark greeting card and so cringy, but if you've learned something from this debate today, if you heard something and you were like, wow, I actually didn't think about it like that, which I did. I learned so much just from listening to you guys, then that's great. That's a win within itself. Yes. Oh my god, who just did the little thumbs up? I love you. Yes,
I
okay.
don't have a camera, so I don't have a physical thumbs up to show you.
Hold on. Okay. I am just going to run through my notes in terms of what I thought of both teams really quickly, and then we're going to do winners, losers, star speakers, etc. Okay. Firstly, I really like that the proposition brought up climate change. I think you guys could have expanded on that. I didn't hear as much about climate change from the opposition, but I like the angle that they went with as well in terms of the more cultural angle. When Rhea started talking about the religious significance of rice, I was like, I retire. I give up. I'm done. I'm done. Thank you so much, guys. But I liked in Heidi's first argument, she kind of it's that like vibrant language. She used really vibrant language, and then she goes, you said something along the lines of, what if this were you and your family? Or like it was using that like you, because I think you put us in the rice farmers' shoes, like you made this a personal issue for the audience. I did still think though with the opposition, it was a teeny bit of a generalization. Like I don't some points I was like, hmm. However, I think the main thing with this debate, and it's kind of like, can you guys think back to when me and CJ debated abortion, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying, okay, everyone should have the right to an abortion, and she was on the other side. But the thing is, in that debate, we didn't clash properly. We didn't kind of go head to head. Why? Because neither of us were saying that okay, abortion should be banned. That wasn't the topic of the debate, but that's how I interpreted it. So I was like, here's why abortion shouldn't be banned. And then CJ was like, well, yeah, I'm not arguing with you on that. But she took an entirely different perspective. She kind of circumvented the main topic of debate. I think that's what's happened here. And what I mean by that is, like, you guys, both of you guys are saying the same thing. No one's disagreeing about the importance of the rice sector. No one's disagreeing about fair wages. Not one person in this debate has been like, actually, guys, screw the rice farmers, because it's not an argument you can stand on. It's just not, right? But where the devil's in the details in this motion, because you're focusing on like the teeny tiny wording of it. You both agree with the overall motion. You just disagree on points of modernization. So I think that's whenever the proposition was saying like, the rice sector is important, I'm like, yeah, you guys aren't like, it shouldn't be as much of a focus in your argument of how important the rice sector is, because nobody needs to be swayed here. Nobody needs to be like, or fair wages. Nobody needs to be swayed about fair wages. We're all like, yes, we agree with you. You have our vote for the fair wages. That's kind of, if you can see how I'm comparing those two debates, and like, I hope that makes sense. And if I've just completely confused you, then yeah, I'm sorry. But Nyla, I liked how you were reinforcing, you said in my colleague's words, you were reinforcing Rhea's words. I thought that was a nice way of tying things together. I thought in the judge question, Heidi, when you brought up drip irrigation, I thought that was like spot on. The fact that you just were able to whip out an example, that was pretty spot on. And it's a good example as well. I mean, drip irrigation is implemented in Nepal. It's a thing. So I was like, hey, that's good points with me. What else? Okay. Yes. I liked Rhea's personal engagement. I always like Rhea's personal engagement. Rhea takes every single motion to heart. I want to give Rhea a motion where I'm like, there's no way she can relate to this. There's no way she can put emotion into this. It's just so far detached. So if anyone has motion ideas that are really unemotional, so we can try and challenge Rhea a little bit, that would be great. Like, leave some. Let's make this awful for Rhea. I'm kidding. Rhea, we love you. We love you so much, but you're too smart for your own good. So guys, let's make that a mission of ours to kind of bully Rhea into.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
What else? Yes. Okay. I think that was it. Winners. Oh, actually, one more thing. Opposition. I wish you talked about, you said, okay, modernization is not the way to go. I wish you'd provided more of a concrete model of like, okay, what is the way to give rice farmers more power? I mean, obviously, you guys said they need to be more in control of supply chains. They need to have a fair share. They need to be more involved in the process. And I couldn't agree more. But I wish, and I know it's tricky to do, I wish you'd given us kind of a model of it should work like this with X, Y, Z happening. That being said, the winners are the opposition. solely because of the cultural angle. I was like, oh, that is good. That is good. And look, I don't count this as like winning. I mean, I do count this as winning. That's not to undermine the opposition's incredible victory. But remember, this is our first debate back. Nyla gave us all one hell of a motion, and it's a really intricate one. Like, this is like this is an A-level and beyond kind of motion. So Nyla, thank you so much for the motion. It was fabulous. We all learned something. But guys, I don't think we're gonna do star speakers. Instead, I'm just gonna say because whose turn was it next to give us? It was Rhea's turn.
Yep, it's me.
He's like, you just pointed, but you're like on my entire screen, so you were pointing at my wall. Is that you're like the whole screen right now? I'm zoomed down. Is like she's my favorite. You guys don't be jealous. Yeah. Is that your book account? Is that the one that is that your account? The Goldie Reads Books.
Yeah.
You have like an insane amount of followers. I was like, is that Izza? Because I feel like that's Izza. But okay, guys, if you don't know about Izza's reading account, go follow it. I'll like put it onto the. Sorry, I just had to. That was on my mind. Anyhow,
This is free advertisement. This is 2 extra followers.
I love it. I love it so much. I was like, I don't want to sound dumb and be like, is this Izza? So this is Thanks, guys. Sorry, I've gone off topic. But Rhea, we anxiously await your motion. If it's Star Wars themed, it's Star Wars
I
themed.
can't wait for it.
Huh?
If it's Star Wars theme, I kill myself now.
Hi, dude.
I have options. Now I'm definitely going with the Star Wars one.
Rhea,
No.
Rhea, can I ask that you give us like some homework to do, right?
I'll give you starting material.
Can you please?
Please,
Can you please?
please.
Because honestly, I don't even know where to start. I haven't watched any of the movies.
No, the one I've got doesn't require you to watch any of the movies. It's not a did Boba Fett wear blue or green armor in Phantom Menace or anything.
I don't know what any of those words mean. You spoke in tongues. You do your thing, Rhea. We trust you. I think. Do you guys want to stay in the same teams? Do you want to switch it up?
I want to steal someone from Izza and Heidi's team.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Izza.
Can we do the debate in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, because I can't do it, and Julia wants to come back, but she doesn't know when. I think. So.
Okay.
Does that work?
When we say in 2 weeks, is that? Wait, hold on. Just so we're all really clear. Not next week, the week after. So would that be the 23rd of September, which is actually Emily's birthday? No way, guys. Yeah?
Emily and I are doing something on her birthday. Sorry, we can't do
No worries. Okay, so how about, does Sunday work for you guys in that case? 24th?
Wait, do you want to let Emily pick the motion?
No.
She can pick a birthday motion. I don't mind. I'll do it next week.
I think we're okay to stick with the Star Wars motion. I don't know how Emily feels about Star Wars. I might be screwing her on her birthday.
Her dad loves Star Wars. Like,
Sorry?
she said about it, I think. Her dad loves it.
Okay. So, that's good then. In that case, how does the 24th of September work? That is a Sunday. And that is 2 weeks from now.
In the morning or in the afternoon?
Around the same time, maybe a few hours earlier though, because I have one of my tutors has booked classes at this exact time, which is really great for me. So,
Well, it depends how many hours earlier, because Heidi prays Jesus in the morning.
And I go to Sunday car boot sales because I love it.
Gotcha. That's so cute. Okay. How about so currently we started this debate at 4 p.m. English time. What if we did it at 2 p.m. English time? Is that bad?
What's that? 5 p.m. Dubai time.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that's good. I'll just have to ask my mum.
Might be a bit tight, but I think I could do it.
You can do it.
Okay. Guys, I wish I could send you guys stuff. Like, I wish I could, like, Uber Eats you guys, like, a coffee. Can I? Like, if I set my location to England and wherever you guys are, could I? Like, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that for my
anything free.
Anything.
we do that for my cousin's birthday. We just Uber Eat like loads of cake to them.
Do you? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to do that. As soon as I figure out how to do that, it's over for all of you guys. You guys are never gonna be healthy again in your lives. Trust me, I would know. Okay. I was gonna say everybody send me your addresses. Actually do that. Send me your addresses privately. If you're uncomfortable doing that, then you don't have to. Like, I'm not gonna show up at your house. I swear.
Anything for free food. Anything.
I think I'm the one at danger because they're in a different country. You can easily rock up to my place in 20 minutes.
Right.
It takes hours for you
Okay, guys, Rhea, Janine meetup. Let's yes or no.
Okay.
Rhea's like, do not.
It'll be a bit weird hanging out with the year 13, but
I'm really cool. I swear. I'm like so.
yeah,
hip
all the year
now.
13s at my school are questionable.
Okay, I'm not. I'm really cute. Really unquestionable. Promise.
Okay, I believe you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So we have agreed 24th of September, 2 p.m. English time, 5 p.m. Dubai time. If anyone has any conflicts that they figure out after this, which is fine, that always happens to me. I'm like, oh, wait, I actually have, my dragon training lessons. I don't know. Whatever you do, just let me know and we can figure something out. It is so fine. I'm not going to be mad at you guys if you can't make it. It's fine. It's cool. But thank you so much for coming. Nyla, thank you for such a fabulous motion. And thank you to both sides for such a killer debate. Definitely wasn't an easy one, but it was great. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, ow.